Welcome to the Hoof and Fang podcast. I'm Kirt Maz.
And I'm Maz Maddox.
How's your week going?
Week is going good. I had kind of a weirdly crazy day at work today. So
why was it crazy, and why is it weird that it was crazy?
Okay, it's bizarre. So the whole reason I sent you a message today and then deleted it was I thought we were doing a full strategy meeting today. And because we went to a totally different building so we can book a conference room for the entire day. Yeah. And like my boss was like, set your out of office. We're not going to be taking any meetings. Like it's just going to be our core team. We're doing a meeting. And I was like, okay, cool. We're going to talk strategy and what we want to do for the site for the year. Great. So we get in there and he's like, this isn't going to be about like revenue and website things and blah, blah, blah. He was like, this is a team building thing. Like I want us to talk, like get to know each other very well. And so it kicks off with him like talking about how his sister was murdered and like all this like deep shit and like cries and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, right? Like very intense shit. And so it's him, me, two other people who have been with the company for a little while, and then two people who I shit you not have been there for 2 days. And so they are like in it. And like I remember I looked over to this one dude who's going to be like my it's like a senior position of what I am. Mm-hmm. So not my boss, but like more experienced person. And after my boss like kind of composed himself and it was okay for me to crack jokes, I was like, welcome to the team. Tell us about your childhood.
Yeah.
Kind of intense, right? So we all kind of walked, like took turns like talking about some stuff, and you could share whatever you wanted to, right? You didn't have to talk about your murdered siblings.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, good.
I mean, not my murdered siblings. I kept it light. So, I told him a little bit of background for me, but didn't super deep dive because I was just like, this is a lot. And I'm like sitting in this room, like sweating and shit. And then after we do that, and that's when I had sent you a thing being like, dude, I don't know when I'm getting out of here today. He was like, well, let's go out, get some lunch. And then after that, why don't we just take a decompression day and just leave? And I was like, okay. So we,
sounds like you need to decompress, dude.
I was about to say, I think it was more for him because he told us a lot about his personal shit. So yeah, after we left, my company lets you rent e-bikes for free, like to ride around the campus and shit. So we rented some e-bikes and then just rode around in the sunshine and stopped for tacos and just like enjoyed a couple hours riding around, just having a good time. And then I came home. So it was a weirdly like traumatizing front loaded day. And then the rest of it was beautiful and lovely. Right. And I had a great time with these people. So yeah, kind of a weird roller coaster day.
That is strange.
Yeah. Strange and kind of cool, but strange. Right. So yeah, it was a lot. So I'm drinking some coffee and kind of recalibrating a little bit.
So there was no warning about the pending trauma dump?
No, he said that we were going to get into some deep conversations. And again, I was thinking like
work.
I know.
Doesn't that mean we're going to really dive deep into like the algorithm or like SEO?
That's what I was thinking when he was like, let's have deep, meaningful conversations. I was like, great. I had a whole list of stuff I wanted to talk about, like what I wanted to fix on the website and what I thought was going to be hard conversations about where some other teams are failing. Nope. We were talking about dead siblings. Right. So yeah, it was a weird day.
So can you request that other meeting happens now?
Yeah. I was
so sorry about your sister, but also I actually had some stuff I'd like to talk about.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to do with our childhood.
Yeah. I was like, I kind of was hoping this was actually going to be like, I'm so happy we shared. We're all closer now and all that jazz, but I do want to talk about our Q4 strategy,
Right. Like, so sorry about everything you shared with us, but I was hoping for some substance in this meeting.
Exactly. Congrats on the dead sibling, but can we actually talk about navigation for the website?
Right. Can we discuss something that matters? Jeez.
It's so dark. We're such bad people. But yeah, so.
No. We wouldn't say that. Well,
I mean, we are saying it to a bunch of our friends and to each other.
Not like in the moment, but like later.
No. After the fact, when it's fine and funny, absolutely. But in the moment, it was like, oh my God, what is happening? So
Well, I had nothing like that happen today.
You didn't have to divulge any deep secrets about your
No.
childhood and then watch a grown man cry in front of you?
No.
Cool.
No more than usual.
Oh, okay.
Just the grown man in the mirror, but
yeah, but that's normal.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, I'm just working. Just coming into the office and getting shit done and prepping for Queers and Quills. And
excellent.
I never got the email about like the app that they're using for the schedule.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Skeds. I hate that.
I figured that out this morning, and
okay.
So and then recorded, and I did have to go home and let the dogs out, and it is beautiful, so I got to spend a little bit of time outside as well.
Awesome.
But other than that, a pretty normal, boring day.
Well, at least you're having good weather. It's really nice here too. So I think you probably have nicer weather. Mine's starting to get a little like sticky humid.
Right. We have not hit that. Although I did see my first mosquito yesterday, and I was like, oh, damn it. Because we were working in the yard all weekend, and it was so nice because like the dogs, they can never decide, do they want to be in, do they want to be out? And I was like, just prop the door open.
Yeah.
Just prop the door open, let them come and go. There's no bugs. Like until the bugs come, we don't have to worry about what's going in and out of the house. It's just fresh air. Just,
perfect.
So, and it was so nice. But then like yesterday I was cooking dinner on the grill outside, and I was like,
damn it.
Here's a mosquito.
Yeah, it's happened. Yeah, I was standing outside last night talking to Alex. It's like 9:00 at night. We were just about to go to bed, and it was nice outside. So we're sitting on the patio, and I forgot about June bugs, and I hate them.
You forgot about them?
Because they're not in Wisconsin. I didn't have to worry about them for like 4 or 5 glorious years. That was not my life.
It's true. They're not in this part of Wisconsin. They're further south.
Yeah. So when I heard the first idiot June bug slap itself against the window, I was like, nope, and just went back inside. So they're out, and I'm not happy about it. Chinks, chill, baby. Hey, can you relax?
He has things to say.
I was worried about Potato, and he's napping and being a good boy, and the other one is now being an asshole.
Yeah. You're talking. He just wants to talk too.
He does this when I'm on the phone too. He's a silent cat for the most part, but anytime I'm on the phone, no matter who it is, he's doing this.
It's just mimicking behavior. Yeah, I feel like I'm at the point where I'm almost ready for Queers and Quills. What I really need to do is get all my shit packed up so I can ship like my giveaway items, because I really don't want to have to pay for an extra suitcase on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to get my act together and do that.
Yeah, I need to order some table signs. I'm just going to do 2 of those little like 11 by 14 signs for like my price list. And then I came up with, I'm going to try something out because I noticed something that kind of resonated with readers on one of the cons I was at. I had little clippy things in the shape of a heart that gave the trope of what was in each book.
Oh,
so people could kind of shop by trope. So I've got a little menu that I made with Shin's help, because I'm not a graphic designer, that kind of breaks down each series and like the tropes and vibes in each one. So you can kind of shop depending on which one sounds appealing to you. So we're going to see if people like that. And if not, it was only $20, so it's not a big deal.
Right.
So we're going to see how it goes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I need to also like, because I'm doing a giveaway.
Nice.
Like I'm giving things away, but then I'm also doing a giveaway in that, and I need to like film something and put it out there so people know that I'm doing that and know to come to my table.
Yeah, good idea.
I was like, oh shit, I have to actually promote that this is happening because I can't count on word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to, because giveaways at cons are always tricky to me because it's when am I going to actually get the thing to the person? And
in that moment. Like I have it. I'm bringing it with me.
Okay. So is it going to be one of those, like they draw a number and if they win, they get it right then kind of thing?
Well, we can talk about it because by the time this comes out, I'll have already released a video, hopefully, talking about what it is. So I 3D printed little phone stands, little collapsible phone stands that fit in like a pocket or a bag or a purse or whatever. And so I was like, oh, great, that's useful. But then I also made it so that you can clip on little personalized, like little plates. So like
super cool.
Some of them say like gay pride, or I actually don't think one of them actually does say, I think one of them says like bi pride and like pan pride, and then other ones are like queer AF or like
cute
I heart audio. So just some other cute little things like that. And then some of them are specific to me in my books, so it has like pairings like Joe and Ox, and Nate and Eric from the Want Me series. And so if people want, they can like decorate their little phone stands with these little personalized things. But
Cute.
They'll be drawing them randomly out of a bag.
Okay.
And there are many different colors. They're multicolored. No two are alike, but one of them is gold. So if you pull the gold phone stand out of the little bag, you win a pair of headphones.
That's awesome.
A pair of Beats headphones, hopefully to listen to audiobooks.
Yeah, that's a good prize. Dang.
Sweet.
So that's a good idea.
That's what I'm giving away at the Saturday signing at Queers and Quills. So I hope people will come visit my table and they will get their phone stand and they will decorate it with their little personalized plates. And one lucky winner is going to get a set of headphones.
Sweet. So, that's amazing.
Yeah. Hopefully it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the possibility of like not enough people coming to my table and I leave with like still 100 stands and the gold one never got picked because like just not enough people picked, and I have to also go home with headphones. I'll be like, brother.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody comes and picks that gold one.
Yeah, gold, like optimally, you run out of everything. Somebody gets the prize and you're good to go. But if not, I mean, we can always use it for Patreon merch or something like that. So
yeah,
we can repurpose it for something.
I don't want to mail things. I just want people to use things up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just come and get the shit you want, guys.
Yeah, please don't make me take the shit home.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have to do that, and I have to finalize my outfit for the red dress party.
Nice.
But yeah, there's just like it's just the details now at this point for Queers and Quills, and then like packing and shit next week. So
yeah,
but that's really like the thing that's been on my mind the most. And I'm also moderating the YA panel, so I have to get that ready.
Nice.
So yeah, still keeping busy, even though I don't know what even though is. I guess like one of my podcasts is done now.
Yeah, even though that's done.
The Narrator Roundtable is done for its third season finished. So like I'm down one podcast. Woo, yippee.
Woo. Only 400 others you got to juggle.
But still keeping busy. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me.
Nice. Very cool.
We are opening up the Patreon once again. So if you are still a subscriber, your billing cycle will start again on the 15th of this month, which is May. And the Animorphs TV show reactions return next week. And I also thought that the Patreon would be a really good place to start bouncing ideas off of our followers with some of the upcoming changes we have in mind and just see what appeals to people the most. Yeah. And so if you want to have a say in how we move forward as a podcast, go over to our Patreon, join, and have a say in what we do going forward.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. I would love to get their perspectives on it. So this will be good.
For sure. And then if you are listening to Queers and Quills, the podcast, which I hope you are, because even if you're not going to the conference, there's so many cool authors and narrators who have agreed to be interviewed for that, and I want them to get the visibility that they deserve. So I hope you take some time to go and listen and or watch over on our YouTube page. But that will conclude now next week because the conference will happen. So
exactly.
The last episode comes out on Wednesday, and then we travel on Thursday to get to the conference, which starts on Friday.
Yeah.
So, yee.
I'm so excited. I forgot that, this month is already kind of whipping by for me. So I was trying to remember which airline I booked my tickets from. Mm-hmm. And I opened the app and it was like 8 days till check-in. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, it's next week. Shit.
Right.
So like, luckily, I think all my books, I think the last box is going to be delivered tomorrow to the hotel or wherever it's supposed to go. So books are good, but I still need to order like bags and like any last minute like Amazon supplies basically. Mm-hmm. So it should be good, but it's weird. I'm starting to be in the, when am I forgetting? Even though I don't leave until next week.
The anxiety portion has taken hold. Exactly. Yes. I was just telling John that last night. I was like, I'm in the anxious portion now because it's like, not only do I have to get all this done and I have to get it out the door, and then I'm trusting somebody else to get it to where it needs to go. Yeah. But then also like I'm traveling on my own and like that's always a little nerve wracking.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check a bag, which sucks because I'm always terrified.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like all of my shit. I'm going to try to push everything into one giant bag. And that always freaks me out because bags get lost and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. So
knock on wood, they don't get lost that often. Like I know we all know somebody who has a horror story. And like I've even had it where like it ended up delayed. It got on the wrong plane and it was just coming in like 2 hours later instead of the one I was on.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's happened. And I've even had like where my flight got changed, but like the bag made it to the plane. So like it's somewhere waiting for me and I'm not going to that airport anymore because like things got changed back when I was traveling for work a lot more, you know, like weird shit happens, but like I never lost anything. I always got it.
That's fair.
And it always got there quickly. And that's the nice thing about traveling on Thursday for an event that truly mostly takes place on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, it's the signing that I need the shit there for, which is why I'm like, okay, if I can get this shit in the mail by like Thursday, I feel good about it getting to Portland by like next Friday.
Yes, exactly. That is kind of nice, like getting there early enough to where Friday, there's panels and fun stuff going on, but really the big event Saturday, so I have days to just kind of get my shit in order, so it's nice.
Right, exactly. So if you're going to be at Queers and Quills, please sound off in the comments and say hello to us once we're there.
Yeah.
We would love to talk to some of our subscribers as well as just our friends from the romance community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Good time. Are we still doing an episode next week, do you think? I mean, we don't leave till Thursday, so we could record on Tuesday.
I don't see why not. It's more like, do you have time to edit and do all that stuff? Because
when do I ever? Do I ever have time to edit and do all that stuff? Who knows?
I mean, true.
How do we get it done? I don't know.
Magic.
How does it always get done? So yeah, okay, well, all right. We're not skipping a week, and then the following week we can talk about Queers and Quills. Or maybe we'll record something while we're there. I don't know. We should talk about that.
That'll be fun.
We're going to be in the same place at the same time again for the first time ever.
Crap. Yeah,
for the first time ever. The first time since you left.
I just agreed, like, yes, first time ever.
Yes, first time ever. We'll be in the same place at the same time. Except for all those years where we saw each other several times a week.
Yes.
So exciting stuff to come on the Queers and Quills front. I think what we should do, this is just a planning meeting at this point. Audience, you're welcome. I think we should release stuff while we're at Queers and Quills just in our Patreon. So for our subs, they can see how things are going, get live updates, and then we will fill everybody else in the following week on the podcast.
Love it.
So yeah, go subscribe and you can find out in real time what we're doing in Portland. Yeah. So this week, I figured we could talk about another controversy.
Let's do it.
Why not? Now, had you seen anything about the book Silver Elite by Danny Francis?
You know what? I haven't.
Ooh.
I didn't know anything about it until I saw the outline for the episode and was like, what? So I went and, educated myself on it. Yeah, this is kind of wild.
And it's honestly, in my opinion, it's barely a controversy, but it was enough for me to be like, ooh, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So what has happened is there is a new book out. It's called Silver Elite by an author named Danny Francis. Now, the thing about Danny Francis is it is a pseudonym. It has to be. There's no author photo included. There's no personal information in the blurb or their bio. It is certainly a pseudonym. Nothing wrong with pseudonyms.
Yep.
Now, what's interesting about this book is it has been preordained to be like the next big thing. So through marketing efforts, the dollars that the publisher threw at promoting this thing, getting it on Book of the Month, subscription services, getting it to all sorts of ARC readers and book talkers and, Instagram influencers, like all of the people who can really push this book, it was like decided this thing is going to be a big fat hit. It's the next Hunger Games. It's the next whatever that Divergent series was the whole series called Divergent? I don't know.
The first book was.
It's the next dystopian YA adventure thriller sort of situation.
Was this one YA or was it? Because I remember them talking about it being spicy.
Yeah, maybe it's adult.
Okay.
So yeah, because they were talking about how the character is like Katniss but for adults. So it's not YA. I take that part back. But it's like a dystopian adventure. And the thing that is rubbing people. There are several things rubbing people the wrong way about this book. First of all, it's just the sheer amount of effort that has been put behind it to make it successful for somebody who is not even putting their whole selves out into the world.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that this is in fact a debut author. It's certainly being pitched as a debut author. But speculation is that a publisher would not put this kind of money behind an unknown entity. And so it's far more likely that this is an established person with a new pseudonym that is being put forward as though they are a new author and they want this book to be a big hit, but it is in fact from one of their established writers in their roster already. So the other thing that people are saying who have read it is like, this is being pitched as like this dystopian novel. It's really just a romance.
Yeah.
They're like, they're selling it like it's the next Hunger Games, and like the Hunger Games is action and adventure and harrowing feats of heroism. And they're like, this is a romance. Like the setting barely makes a difference. And they're like, why are they selling this? Why are they pushing it as that if that's not what the book is?
Yeah.
So
I thought that was particularly interesting. Like the amount of marketing behind it when it's a debut author. Because when I first read it, I know one of the controversies was it being a pseudonym, and people were kind of weird about it. So at first I was like, why do people care that it's a pseudonym? Like, have we gotten to the point now where unless you could see an author's face, you're mad? But then when I read a little bit more, and it was talking about just this sheer amount of dollars behind making this, like you said, like the next big thing, and like it's just everywhere. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to like put my tinfoil hat on for that too, because I was like, that does seem deeply suspicious. But yeah, one of the things in the article that you shared with me is that, I mean, dystopian adventure novels are not niche because they're really popular, but they have a very specific like cadence and expectation. So if it's a romance, I don't know why you would set a book up for failure like that. So you're kind of have a really weird start to this debut author. Right. So yeah, it's just strange.
Yeah. So aside from the fact that like that's just a little bit weird, I thought we would just kind of break apart some of the pieces of this. And the first question I really have is like, for a book that is this high profile and an author who is going to be this high profile, what is the point of a pseudonym?
You know, if it's an established author, like if it's not this person, but if it was Stephen King or something, and he's breaking into a new genre, you'd think that they would. Yeah, he's done. But didn't he say like Stephen King writing as whatever?
No, he had a pseudonym for several books when he was trying to get out of horror. He wrote under a pseudonym. I forget what it was called. And then like after it was out, it was like, actually it was me. And it was like, oh, okay, Stephen King can write more than just horror.
Okay. So I wonder if it's something like that. Like maybe it really is just somebody breaking into a new genre. But I think at that point, it might be a little disingenuous to say debut author, because that's the expectation of it being somebody who's never published anything before.
Right.
So I'd probably just leave off debut author. Like if they just left that off and they're like, we didn't say it was debut, then maybe that would kind of help with that. Like I think maybe that's really where they're shooting themselves in the foot. Because I think everyone's entitled to having a pseudonym, right? Like I had one, but that went out the window fast because I didn't care if people knew my real name. But you know, a lot of people, it's deeply important that they have those things separate. So I will never cast shade on somebody who has a pseudonym. So I don't see a problem with that. Where I'm getting a little is I think it's just not honest for them to say it's a new author. That's the only part that I think I care about.
Right. Well, and even many authors who have pseudonyms, they still appear in public.
Yeah.
You know, it's a way to separate their personal lives from their professional lives, but they still have a public professional life, you know? And I just, it's very, I mean, this comes up in pseudonym talk all the time. I'm always just really surprised by that there would be somebody who wants to have a public facing job, but doesn't want to be public facing at all.
Yeah.
You know, because you have the option in the arts to do things that aren't public facing. You know, if you want to, you know, be a voice artist, you can do that without ever being somebody who, you know, does one of the big shows or, you know, the big video games. Like you can do little industrials or, you know, training videos, or, you know, like there's a way to make money in a way that it really keeps you isolated. But if you want to be the voice of a main character in a video game, you better be prepared to be more public facing.
Right.
If you want to write a book and you want it to be picked up by a big 5 publisher and turned into a massive hit, there's a part of me that just thinks like you should be prepared to be in front of people.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to use your real name or you don't want to expose your family to it, you should be ready for that. And I would think that publishers would look for that, you know, because I'm not hearing that this book is like the next coming of Jesus in the form of a published manuscript. Like most of the reviews are like, it's fine, you know? So it's like, if it's not so incredible, if the mystery of who the author is isn't a part of the story, then what's the point?
Yeah. Seems like it. I wonder if, and this is switching tinfoil hats to a different one.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're purposely being vague and weird and secretive to maybe drum up more hype.
Maybe.
Like maybe they're like, oh, we can't. It's a debut author, but we're throwing a lot of money behind it. But we can't tell you who it is.
Right.
They like breakfast or whatever that stupid little blurb said.
Right, whatever that's.
Yeah. So
thank you so much for sharing about yourself, breakfast enjoyer.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us about your dead siblings? That's what we're here for.
I mean.
Yeah.
I
mean,
well, because it does make you put the tinfoil hat on, and you do start thinking like, what are the other reasons why somebody would not want to be connected publicly to this project? Like, are they somebody who's already a public figure for something else? And like,
right.
And maybe their public persona would not help book sales?
Are
they an author who's gotten in trouble for things not related to their writing, and now they want to start fresh under a new name?
I mean, there's something to that.
Are they an editor at the company, and now they're getting a chance to like put forward their own work, and it all seems a little, a little sketchy that so much effort's being put behind a person who already worked for that company, or maybe had a lot of influence in that company, or maybe is married to somebody who has a lot of influence in the company. Like,
yeah,
it just does make you go like, why is this such a secret?
Yeah.
Because again, the normal practice of pseudonyms is not completely sheltering who that person is.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
It happens from time to time, but that's not the normal practice.
No, I think I've only met one author in the menagerie of authors that I've met who was very upfront, because I think I reached out to them about doing the podcast or something. And they very much were like, I don't do any podcasts. I don't show my face. I do not, absolutely not. Like, my stuff is very, very buttoned up. I do not let people know who I am. So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, you've got your reasons. That's fine. But yeah, if to your point, like if you were trying to push this to be a book that gets picked up as a movie and stuff like that, I mean, dude, that's you're somebody's gonna figure out who you are, or show your face, or figure out that you're married to the CEO or something.
Right.
So I feel like it's just,
well, and we certainly understand
get
when the subject matter of a book is such that like it could interfere with your real life. Like, we know plenty of like small time indie authors who don't use their real names when they're publishing their smutty romance books.
Yeah.
Because, there are certain people in their life, they don't need stumbling across their name attached to something that might affect their job.
Right.
Or might affect their family's position in church, or like it might embarrass their kids if their kids' friends were to find out about it,
Yeah.
Like all those things that like I don't have to worry about.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But I understand those worries are there. But again, it's once you get that big contract, it seems a strange route to take. Especially because I think it's also happened that like they've just used like models, and like here's a photo of the author, and it doesn't even have to be the real person.
No.
And then you don't make public appearances, you don't go on podcasts, you don't go on TV, and it's like, okay, fine. So switching to the other part of this that is upsetting people. So how do we feel when a book turns out to be something very different than what it was advertised to be?
I mean, I think it's happened to everybody, right? Like you read a blurb, or the cover looks great, you get a pulse on what you think it's going to be, and then you start devouring it, and it just, you're going to be disappointed. I don't think I've ever clocked a book for what I was like, oh, this is going to be an enemies to lovers romance. And then it turns out to not be that. And I'm like, I'm so happy I was wrong. I'm always like, no, I wanted them to hate each other and then kiss. Like, what's happening? So I don't think I think if you're, especially now with people being very dialed into genres and tropes and book talk being everywhere, and like people are really like, books and reading it's in a renaissance right now. It's very popular. It's having this resurgence in our pop culture that now more than ever, you got to make sure your marketing's buttoned up, because people will pick up your book expecting it to be what you told them to be. And if it's not only are you not going to get great sales, but somebody's going to rip your a new ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be blasted that you failed fundamentally. So you just got to make sure that stuff is solid.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like there's no positive result to that other than like the initial burst of sales and interest. Like, okay, this is the next big thing and this is what it is. And then a bunch of people read it and go, no, it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
And now there's ill will towards what this person does next.
Right.
What that author does next, what the publisher does next. Like you want to know what you're getting. As much as we've talked about, book covers and knowing what you're getting, like, you want there to be some explanation of what type of book is this that I am picking up. Yeah. And I think the blurb and the marketing is a really good way to do that.
Yeah, the blurb, the marketing, how you shelve it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, because you get to pick what category it's under. So if I'm writing a queer romance, but then I shove it into like paleontology because there's dinosaurs in it, that's not the right audience. There's not going to be the right people who are going to grab it.
Although, I guess you never know. Could just be real creative marketing. Suddenly we start seeing the Relic series in the nonfiction paleontology section, and folks are like, this is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know the fossils could kiss.
Yeah, so much kissing. I also just wanted to bring up some reactions that I saw to it. If folks are out there on the TikTok, you can follow both of these people, but I saw Don Martin, who is an author. I saw his perspective. He's also pretty vocal on TikTok about a lot of things. But the point he makes in his video talking about this quote unquote controversy is just that like even authors who are published by big 5 publishers, so many of them get absolutely zero marketing support, and they are on their own for setting up events, for doing tours, for doing online interviews, for creating graphics that they can put out on their social media.
Yeah.
For attracting ARC readers and book talkers and bookstagrammers. They're totally left on their own. They get a $0 marketing budget. And then for there to be somebody who is a total unknown, supposedly a debut author, who is also anonymous, to be getting this kind of support, it makes you go, the fuck?
Yeah, it always, and I know that, right? I know that a lot of traditionally published people are left out to do their own marketing and stuff, but I'm always surprised to hear it, even though I've heard it 100 times. Like the TikToks that you had linked in the notes, I was watching them, and I was like, how is this possible? How do you get like a 6-figure contract? You go through the process of rewrites and cover stuff, and like all of these people are helping you craft this amazing book. Comes out, and they're just like, here you go, good luck. Just are you? What? Like, wouldn't you want it to sell? Don't you have a marketing budget? Like, it's just wild to me that that's the norm now.
Yeah. Well, the business model really is that like a few big hits will pay for everything else. And you never know when that person will become the big hit. We can look at Rebecca Yarros, who was a published author many times over before Fourth Wing became so popular. And then it was like, oh, she's an overnight success. Hugely popular. Most books sold in the first week in history. You know? Type of person. And I just, again, want to draw contrast to another author who I love, who I have worked with before, Stephen Salvatore. His latest book also came out this week. It's called When Love Gives You Lemons. And he is one of those authors where like, this is a trad published book. And for all of his trad published books, he has not had any support, no marketing budget. He has been making his own graphics, doing all of his own promotions. And so he talked about that. Like as this week has approached and as the book has come out, he's like, this is a bittersweet moment. I'm really proud of this work. I love this book. I'm excited for people to read it. And also I'm deeply disappointed by the fact that I'm not getting any help. I'm not getting any attention. My publisher does not believe in me enough to put any muscle behind this and try to get it in front of people. And that's, as he said, that's bittersweet.
Yeah. That TikTok killed me. Like it just broke my heart because you could tell he's so excited, but he's just deflated. He's like, you work that hard and it comes out and there's no fanfare. Nobody's throwing a party for you. Nobody's, there's not like in movies. Like when I was growing up, I remember, I think Death Becomes Her has it too, where like she comes out with a book and like there's all this like cocktail dresses and everyone's celebrating and it's like there's these huge pyramids stacked with your books and stuff. And it's just not that. It's usually you like going yay on release day and that's kind of it. And then you have to go to work or, you try not to look at your reviews as they roll in if they do, so it's, man, it broke my heart. I was like, oh dude, like, and his stuff is so good. So I hope his day got better. But yeah, it's just, I can relate to that feeling so much. I mean, I'm not traditionally published, so I don't have the extra caveat of like, these people aren't helping me, even though they're the ones putting out the book. So
right. Yeah. Real-time fact checking. I think you're talking about the movie She-Devil, which is also Meryl Streep, but she's an author in that one.
No, it's oh shit, I forget the character's name, but the one that Goldie Hawn plays. Isn't she an author? Like, is like when she has her new debut, isn't it because she sells books and stuff? It was like her How to Be Young Forever book or something. I watched it recently. I could absolutely be getting this tangled up with another movie, but I'm pretty sure because I remember talking to Alex about like, when do I fucking have parties like that? So I was like, I want to show up in a book beautiful
called Forever Young. I stand corrected.
Okay, cool. I was like, I thought I remembered that right, because I was deeply jealous of, one, how beautiful she looks in that red dress, and two, how elegant her party was. I was like, I want that. I want all of those things.
That super duper does not happen.
No. That's not real.
No. So let's flip the script a little bit. And what is our responsibility as readers for supporting authors who we know aren't getting the support that they deserve?
So, I mean, speaking as an author, I think the best thing you could do is obviously leave reviews wherever you like leaving your reviews, Goodreads, Amazon, whatever. Mm-hmm. Dropping them in, recommendation groups if you're in those. If you are like even if you dabble in being an influencer, like if you've got any type of social media platform and you like sharing things that you like, you'd be surprised how far those things can travel. And it always makes me feel good. So the people who have 4,000 followers who are sharing my stuff, awesome. The person who has 4 followers sharing my stuff, still awesome. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting that out for other people to see, and the algorithm will put that in front of the right people most of the time.
Yeah.
So I think it's just advocating for your authors, bringing them up in recommendation groups, gifting them to people. Just, do what you can. I'm not expecting people to be able to single-handedly boost anything, but things like that, even tiny things, can really help push the needle when it comes to sales and just visibility.
Right. Yeah, I think for me, it's really just an attitude shift, like understanding what are the projects that might need your word of mouth and the ones that truly don't.
Right.
And the ones that are doing just fine, like, if you can only recommend one thing to another person, pick the thing that's not as well known. And if you're interested in what's coming out that isn't getting all the fanfare, like, you can go to Publishers Weekly, you can subscribe to their newsletters, you can, go through any of the social medias and like do hashtag release day or hashtag debut author. Like, just look for things that would indicate this is a new person, this is a new voice. And usually there are plenty of articles out there too that are like, if you like this, you'll probably like this lesser known thing. And so, no one's saying don't read the big popular books, because
they're popular for a reason. They're usually really good.
Right. Exactly. But when it comes time to talk about a book, to promote it just within your circle, I think that's just an attitude shift of being like, yeah, I read Fourth Wing. It was really great. But actually, I read this other book that I don't think a lot of people know about, and it's really wonderful. Here it is,
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that's a big one. I think, I get frustrated when it comes to like independent bookstores when they do their book clubs. It's always the big thing that's selling really well. It's like, I think, and I, not to be an asshole, but I think it's especially bookstores' responsibility to push those lesser known books. Like, I think maybe pepper in the big ones to like maybe get people to join the book club if they're still kind of whatever. But then right after you read Fourth Wing, pick up something, or like, for the book club, we're now reading this indie author or something less known or whatever. Like, that's what's going to have a huge impact on people who maybe wouldn't even know it existed or wouldn't know to look for it. So,
a book you've never heard of club.
Yeah. See, I love that. Like, there's a little indie bookstore that's local. They do various book clubs, and me and Alex joined the horror one. And, next month they're doing Bury Your Gaze. And so I was like, okay, we'll do that one. That's a big one. Sure. But I'm like, okay, now I'm going to get into these spaces and start recommending like other queer things and, be the little not parrot, like mushroom that like kind of sprouts and helps. Right. So that's what you can do. Go to book clubs and be like, look at this gay thing. You should read this.
And this comes strangely full circle, because talk about an author who understands that he has to be public facing, even though he wants to maintain his anonymity.
Yeah.
Chuck Tingle.
Yep.
But he came up with a gimmick. He wears that bag over his head. Nobody knows what he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still public facing. We still know who he is, even if we know a little bit about him. We know he's a white guy because we've seen his arms.
Right. But that's it. That's all you get.
But we know very little about him except what he chooses to share with us about his personality and what he says and what he advocates for.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be impossible to do any of that if he didn't put some part of himself forward, even though he's hiding his face and his real name and the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be interesting to see what happens with this author in particular, to see if the book is as successful as they hope it will be, and if, when it is, we find out who this person actually is.
Yeah,
or if it really is just a totally anonymous debut author who just wants to maintain their anonymity.
Yeah. I kind of hope it's some big, cool, scandalous thing and not some poor author who's no, I really just didn't want to be public facing.
Yeah, right. We just spent 30 minutes talking about it, so I too hope it's a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it for us this week. We will be back next week with an episode before we head out to Queers and Quills. We hope you will join us then. We will see you next week.
Before I forget, I actually just remembered.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was going to say,
11th hour.
This is not on the outline. Whatever you're about to say is not in the outline.
It is not in the outline. I literally just remembered because my day's been insane. The audiobook for Save the Vampire came out today.
Oh, it did? Yeah.
Yeah, it did. So this drops on Friday, so it's available. You should go get it. It's the conclusion of the series. It's lovely. So yes, just wanted to bring that up because I just fucking remembered I need to go download my codes for it.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes. Cosign. I hope it turned out well. I liked it.
I'm sure
I had a good time with it.
Good.
All right, everybody. Have a great week. Go get that audiobook, and we'll be back next time. Bye.
See you there.